Sunday morning, everyone. Hope all of you have had a good weekend. Excuse my voice. It seems that I am losing it once again. we had this is a 4-day weekend for Thomas because tomorrow is a federal holiday, and we had a wonderful Saturday. It was a beautiful, beautiful fall day here in the South, and I went to bed really early. Well, I guess early for me. It was probably 9ish when I went to bed. So I've been up for an hour or so answering emails and DMs and whatnot. And someone had texted me and asked me if I would listen to Kat's video that she had put up. And since it was short, I did. Normally, I don't listen to her because, quite frankly, her voice is so disgusting that it's just nothing that I want to listen to. Uh, you can hear in her voice the darkness, the evil intent that surrounds her. So, Jack, by the way, this time I made notes. Jack had asked me yesterday and some others how I remember what I want to say. Normally, I don't. I just, start talking and go from there. But this time I did make some notes about things that I want to say. First of all, Kat, you're not a critical thinker. You're not. People laugh at that, especially knowing your past and everything that you've done. You're not a critical thinker. You have a black, black, black heart. If anyone has ever watched the old movie, I think from the 50s called The Bad Seed, that's Cat right there. The Bad Seed. I'm not even joking. The Bad Seed. Take a look at it. Your heart is black. You're only out for what you can get from people. You can trust that you've got an agenda with RV Davy. It has nothing to do with you wanting to be kind to him. There's an agenda there, and we all know that there's an agenda there. You can't see the good in people because you have no good in you. And to be able to see good in people, you would have to have a good heart, and you don't. The lies flow out of your mouth just like honey. The lies just flow and flow and flow. Nobody in BOYT is afraid to speak up to anything. This is a community that fights and fights and fights and everything else. Nobody is afraid to speak up. And 2 weeks ago, we had a hangout about you, and people spoke up. I had 5 or 6 people on panel speaking up about you. Nobody was afraid to speak up about you. Let's see. I had Stellar, Tucker, MB, Michael Steele, Jack, and Barbie. I think 6 people plus myself was 7 that were not afraid to speak up about you or anything else. Plus I think I had almost 3,000 people that ended up watching that hangout. And no, I'm not like you. I'm not going to buy views. And that's exactly what you did. No 1,600 people watched your little 30-minute uh, video that you did last night. No, you bought that. As I have said, if people don't understand troll comments and bot comments, she only gets comments from bots. That's it. Let's see. I'm not on any watch list. That's laughable. And nobody believes that. Nobody believes that I'm on any watch list. You are probably on a watch list because you've got the federal government after you for the money that you stole. So you're probably on a watch list. I would think that after 4.5 years of your lying about me, that you would realize I am not going to ever lay down to you. You don't intimidate me. You don't trigger me. You don't scare me. Your lies are pathetic, is what they are. This is a woman that lied about being friends with a beauty guru by the name of Lisa D1. And she went around and told everyone that I changed my name to Duncan because that's what the woman's name was, the beauty guru. That's how dumb this woman is. Dumb. Um, I have a huge file on you, as do my friends. Have a huge file on you. Every scope you've ever done, every video you've ever done, everything you've ever said has been screenshot. The file that I have on you is huge. All the times that you went into my private life, that you contacted people, because it goes deeper than just me pointing out you calling Kelly and the things that you did there. All of that goes deeper. There are other people that you contacted in my private life as well. Not only that, I have a huge file of people that have reached out to me that had information on you, on things that you had done to them through the years. So you can trust I have a huge file on you. Huge. I don't give a damn who you've hired. You don't have much money. You're blowing through that money like crazy because ego is important to you. Your subs are bought, your views are bought, you buy thumbs up, you buy comments. Now, let's get to the Queen of BOYT. No, ma'am, I didn't give myself that title. Real BOYT people, which you are not, because we spoke and you in Vegas are both out as BOYT. Now, you can keep your ass here all you want to, but just know that 99.9% of the people don't want you here, and we do not consider you BOYT. That's how vile the two of you are, that we do not even want you associated with our community. You say you're your own island. Well, yeah, you are, because you've burned bridges with everybody and nobody wants anything to do with you. And you didn't trigger me last night or Friday night to go live. That had been planned. That had been planned for a long time. You don't have the ability to trigger me because you're laughable. I had been planning on doing that hangout for weeks. As a matter of fact, it was supposed to be done the weekend before, and I had a cold and I was not online. People had been asking me, when are you going to have the hangout? When are you going to have the hangout? That was no trigger. I'd even put up a video yesterday morning stating that I was going to be having it. So, no, ma'am, you didn't trigger me. I didn't watch anything to do with you. Anything that I see from you are things that are sent to me, like the texts that were sent to me while I was live Friday night about this Queen of BOYT stuff. So I'm going to talk about that next. You admitted from your own mouth or your own text what I had already called a week ago, that this was just something that was done to try to get me upset. You think I'm going to get upset about a Queen of BOYT title? No, ma'am, I'm not. I'm sure they were deleted, but I was sent the screenshots that were over on SIGs earlier in the week where everybody was saying there's only one Queen of BOYT, Lindy. The majority of the people said that. You and SIG and JT and Boris and Vegas and whoever else was in on this little deal, you don't get to make the rules of BOYT. You don't get to say this, and this. You don't get to say any of that. So you can take the Queen title and stick it up your ass because everybody saw it for exactly what it was. Just to take a jab at me. And guess what? Everybody has still come to me and said there's only one Queen of BOYT, Lindy. And that's what pisses you off. That I am liked and you are hated. Now, you will come back and slam these good people and say, like you did Friday night in the screenshots that I was sent, I would not want to be queen at the bottom of anything. This is just to get it, Lindy. Well, you failed. Because I'm intelligent and I knew the minute it went up what it was about. I knew that it was a dig at me. And your comment of that, I'm so mad that Vegas took my man and my crown. She couldn't even win a rigged election. You admitted that you were buying and making troll accounts, which you already had a ton of. Vegas already had a ton of, and Boris already had a ton of, to try to get her to win. And she still couldn't even win on a rigged election. What does that tell you? What does that tell you? That's how disliked she is. As to the fact of her and Boris being together, good for them. Good for them. I really don't care. That's a ship I'm never getting back on again. You know as well as I do, he's a piece of shit. And that's never going to change. All the horrible things that he has said about you in Vegas, he'll be saying them again. He will be saying them again because that's just the type of person that he is. And nobody believes that they're together anyway. And that's very disrespectful to Randy to even joke about something like that. But you people don't care anything about disrespect. You don't. The best thing that he could ever do, go find him somebody local, get a life, find somebody that's got some money that can fix up his shit shack, like me and his cousin tried to do, and move on. Because this obsession with me is really pathetic. He's the real queen of the lady drama. Because every time I turn around, I'm getting a text that he's talking about me or scoping about me or something. And that's pathetic. That's pathetic. I am never, ever speaking to that person again, ever. And I just thank God that I got away and didn't lose everything in my life because of that. Now let's move on. As to the queen thing, you didn't take into consideration collateral damage. Do you think that what you did was fair to Holly? Oh yeah, she ended up winning, but she did not know that this was just a whole thing set up by you and Sig and whoever else to be a dig at me. What if her feelings had got hurt in this? None of you thought about her being collateral damage in all of this. And that's really your mindset about everything. You just don't think about anybody but yourself and the evil that you do. Look, I don't care who's called Queen of BOYT, as long as it's not you or Vegas, because we're not having that anyway. I never, ever mentioned anything about being the queen of anything. It was people that came to me over and over and over. And it's in my comments. It's comments in comments over at Sig's. It's talked about at Tucker's. It's talked about everywhere that people call me the Queen of BOYT. I didn't come up with that. Did I use it to make digs at you in Vegas because it pissed you off? Well, of course I did. Of course I did. But I never gave myself that title, so that's a lie right there. You saying I gave it to myself. Never did, never would. Would have never even thought of such a thing. Never would I have even thought of such a thing. I don't have a mind that goes as evil as yours does. So it's just very good that it turned out the way it did. Because otherwise Holly would have just been your collateral damage. Now let's talk about D. That's another lie. You sat there and you said, do you know how laughable this is? This isn't a man that I've ever met. And you said that I'm his best friend. I've never had D's phone number. I've never had a private conversation with that man. Not ever. I am in an OG BOYT group with he and Cameo and some other people. And yeah, when I found out he was doxxed, I told him that he had been doxxed. Because people like you are doxers. And you like to use people's doxes to hurt them. You have doxed more people on the internet than I can count. But you don't like it when your stuff's read. You don't like it when your stuff's read. I don't care who you've hired. Let me put that out there again. I don't care who you've hired for anything because I'm breaking no laws. And you know that I'm breaking no laws. You lied about the whole McKenzie thing and Officer Kyle, and that I had to flee McKenzie because the police were after me. Are you that stupid? I'm not in hiding. I've never been in hiding anywhere. I'm not in hiding. McKenzie is a small town. Thomas knew every police officer there. Most of them were in the guard, and that he knew through there. Anybody that wants to find me right now from McKenzie can find me very easily. That's just another one of your lies. When it didn't work out, that you said that you called McKenzie, and I'll get back to the D point. When you called McKenzie, when I proved that they had nothing, no record, no nothing, no incidents under the name Lynn Duncan, then you had to tell another lie because that's how liars are. When you call a liar out on their lie, then they just come back with a bigger lie. And you'll know it's true. Listen to Kat, listen to Rory, listen to Dave. That's how liars work. You call them out on something, they come back with a bigger lie. Then you change your story that Lynn Duncan wasn't my real name. Well, it is my real name, but let's just say it's not. As Hopper pointed out, Lynn Duncan is the name that you used to report me on. So that's the name that it would have been under. So, see, that's just how you lie. I am not close to D. We've never had a private conversation. Every conversation that D and I has ever had has been in an open OG BOYT forum, green room, if you will, for anybody that's in that group to read. We've never had a private conversation together ever. So as to me calling him or texting him or whatever, nope, sure didn't. Did I tell him in that green room that he had been doxxed? Sure did, because I've been doxxed. And I think that anybody that's been doxxed has a right to know that they've been doxxed. Did I dig into his personal life and his records? No, I didn't, because it's not my business. I don't have a relationship with D to do something like that. Yesterday, when he put that information out, he didn't ask me to go live with that. I was listening to Dave, as quite a few of us were, who were texting each other back and forth, and the lies that he was spewing. And that's mainly the reason that I said I would do it, is because he was sitting there. Dave was lying. You know, your friend Rory certainly wasn't trying to do anything to help him out. She had her Toothless Bell account in Dave's just without a care in the world, trolling over there. She doesn't care about the fact that she had a registered sex offender in her home. And that's not a slam on D. That's just, she doesn't care that it happened. You know, don't try to put this blame on Rosie. That's stupid for you to try and do that, to put the blame on Rosie. You know, whether it's D, whether it's the man in the moon, when you are a parent and people will say, oh, well, you never had small kids. No, I didn't, but I had a mother in my home for years. So when you get to that point and roles reverse, it's the same thing. If you have anybody that you're in a position of being in, that they're in your care, then it's your responsibility to know who you have in your home. So according to Kat, Rory had somebody staying in her home that she didn't even know their real name. How do you think that makes her look, Kat? How do you think that makes her look? You're making her look worse by saying that she let somebody stay in her house that she didn't even know their name, that she let somebody travel with them that she didn't even know their name. How do you think that looks? Randy and Roy are not victims here. It was their responsibility to make sure that their children were protected, that her mother was protected. That was their responsibility. You're not going to get around that Like I said, it wouldn't matter if it was Dee or anybody else. It's your responsibility to know the person that you have around your children. When I dated, when my mother was in my home, and I'm talking about years ago, back when I was in Georgia, I never brought strange men home, ever. I would have never put her in a position like that. Certainly would have never brought anyone in to live or go on a trip or anything like that. If you think that that's okay and that's a good mother, that's on you, boo. But when I came to this community, Rory already had the name as Casey Anthony given to her by Boris and other people because she's never been known to be a good mother, ever. And situations like this just continue to prove that. As to uh, the Mallory situation with him, Mallory antagonized him. I didn't pay anybody anything to do anything. I'm not like that. Do I give tips to people and stuff like that? Sure. Have I given privately to people here? Yes, I have. But I'm not going to tip somebody to make them say something or whatever to Mallory. In my eyes, and a lot of people's eyes, she's not a likable person. Most people do not like condescending, cocky people. And in my opinion, it doesn't change anything with the D situation because she antagonized him. You don't do that with strangers. And he was a stranger to her. You just don't do that. But then again, I'm 51 years old. Do I like to have fun and have a good time? Yeah, but there's nothing in me that wants to go to a seaweed shack and sit around for a few days and just get drunk as a skunk and do that kind of thing with people that I don't even know. And that's essentially what they did. They didn't go and have a good time or, go places or anything. They sat in a seaweed shack for 48 hours, drunk as a skunk. And that's what you get when you put people who are drinking like that together, especially when you have people's temperaments that clash. So I still think that she has a level of responsibility here. Did Dee act badly? Of course. And I've said that. Mallory also acted badly. Your friend Vegas admitted that she knew that he had the knives with him. So again, she knew that someone that had all those knives had been living with her, had been at her mom's, and had now gone on vacation with them. She knew all of that. Let's see. Looking at my notes here. We all knew when you were talking about how wonderful Rosie was and everything when she was helping you, as you both said, with your divorce papers and probably financially too, that you would eventually turn on her. And basically, that's what you're doing again. You've been making little jabs at Rosie for the past month or so, from what I've heard. It's no secret you never did like Rosie. Most of the people you took money from, you didn't like. You only took the money to use them. Isn't it funny that the people that helped you in your time of need are the people that you now trash? Isn't that interesting? That's because you're a user. A user. You will never be considered a good person here. You will never be accepted in the BOYT community by the majority of people. You're not a good person. A good person would give Stellar back his money. But we know that you have no intention of doing that, just like you have no intention of donating anything. The thing that I can't figure out with you is I have proven to you time and time and time and time again, I am neither afraid of you, intimidated by you, nor will I be manipulated by you. So why you keep coming out with these lies about me being on a watch list? Nobody's coming after me. Nobody is going to do anything to me because I haven't broken any laws. You, on the other hand, have to wonder every time someone knocks at your door if they're coming to arrest you for the deeds that you have done. And you can trust, as hated as you are, that trolls are calling Social Security, they're calling the feds, they're calling anybody they can about you because you're just that hated here. And not by me telling people to do things. I don't tell people to go into other people's lives. That's what you do. You will never find one person that can come to you and say, or come out publicly and say, Lindy asked me to do such and such. I've never asked anybody to do anything for me. You have. Many people have spoken out about the things that you've asked people to do. Let me tell you something, Kat. You've got Mel B, Michael Steele, David Guns, Janie D, the bookie, hipster, and on and on and on. These people that thought you were a wonderful person, that were mods for you. None of them want anything to do with you anymore. Why is that? Why is that? I've never had people turn on me like that. Not ever. No matter what's been said about me, I've never had people turn on me like that. I've never asked anybody to do anything for me. I've never gone into anybody's private life. You can lie about me calling all you want to. Nobody believes it. Nobody believes it. As a matter of fact, you're laughed at every single time that you say that I called Larry or I called your brother or this, that, and the other. Didn't happen, and nobody believes that I did. There's nothing that I could have told that man that he didn't already know about you. That's dumb. You're the one that tried to contact Thomas. You started out trying to contact him on Facebook, and then you even lied, which you admitted on Tucker, so don't deny it now. And I also have all the screenshots where you lied and said that you had talked to him and that he was going to give you affidavits against me. He's also stated on the live hangout that that wasn't true. You having someone hired to try to find something on me is as big of a lie as what you just said there about Thomas. So you had access to all the money in the world to do something against me for all those years, but you didn't because you knew that there was nothing you could do. I wasn't committing any crime. You're the one that should be careful because I have money. You've never seen me on here asking for a penny. We have you. And that's what's bothered you all this time. Everything that you've said about me, that I'm crazy and broke, and you said that I lived in a condemned trailer and that I had a redneck accent. None of that's true. I get compliments on my voice all the time. All the time. You've made fun of my looks, my face, my teeth. Girl, you made fun of Holly's teeth, and you have missing teeth, and you lisp very badly, and everybody knows that you lisp very badly. I had been told that a lot of people from Georgia have the same type of accent that I do. I can't tell that being from Georgia because that's just what it sounds like to me. Then again, I love being Southern and I love my accent. So none of that's a dig on me, or I don't take it as a dig to me. You're not going to convince people that you're a good person, no matter how many views you buy, no matter how many comments you buy, no matter how many thumbs up you buy, because people have seen the real you. The real you is that video that I have up that you can't take down because you no longer have the channel, and that Jack has up where you're calling Rosie the C word 38 or 36 times We have seen you try to stronghold people, strong arm people, to get them to do things that you want. I have scopes of you where you flat out lied to people saying that I had gone to California and stalked or something Trisha Paytas. That's the kind of bold, blatant lies that you tell. I've never even been to California and I could give a damn about Trisha Paytas. There again, you're the woman that was obsessed with Trisha Paytas. You're the one that stalked Trisha Paytas. You're the one that we have the comments of where you said that she was the N word rich. N word rich. You wanted to be Trisha Paytas. You bought her books. When she had those body products, you bought all of those. You wanted to be a person that you were old enough to be their mother. You were as obsessed with Trisha as you were with Lisa. Kat spent over $200. Excuse me, I'm drinking hot tea, trying to get my voice back, but she spent over $200 because she was so obsessed with Lisa D1. The video's still up on her channel. Over $200 to buy a pair of shoes that belonged to Lisa D1 that were not even her size. Let that sink in. These shoes were not even Kat's size. She couldn't wear them because they were not her size. She was so obsessed with Lisa D1 that she bought those shoes so that she could have them just because they were hers. That's obsession, guys. That's obsession. And she admitted that out of her own mouth in that video, that she would just use them to lay around in. Because, see, everything with Kat is about ego. She's very much like Dave in that aspect. Everything is ego driven. Everything is about how something looks. And Kat is desperate. And I will never understand this. But she's desperate for people to think that she's rich. What's wrong with being just a normal person? A normal, everyday person. What's wrong with that? You would have been accepted so much more. People, the thing that I have been told over and over and over again since you're back to being the lying bully that you are, the lying bully that we've always known you to be, the thing that people have said to me over and over again is this: wow, she had me fooled. I really thought she had changed. And my response every time was, I knew she would never change. Black-hearted, evil people like you will never change. You're evil in every aspect of your life. Every aspect of your life. Anybody that would take $100,000 that was supposed to be for their siblings, that is laid out in your father's will, and keep that from them, you're an evil, evil person. And that should be criminal. That should be criminal. Everybody knows what's up with you, Kat. And every time you're lying and saying that you have property in California or that you got $50,000, you're being laughed at. But you live in this la-la land where, oh, if I don't think about that, it doesn't mean it. If I don't think about that, it didn't happen. That's the kind of la-la land that you live in. And that's crazy. I mean, that's really crazy to live with that kind of just, I don't even know what. I don't know what you would call it. I mean, it's like you have shut out reality. You've had a lapse in reality. So let's take a look here. The video that she put up 7 hours ago, she bought, because it shows 1.3, so it's around 1,300 views that she's got. Anybody that gets that many views is going to have comments. She's got 2 people, 3 people, let's see. My good friend Soul Sister Tracy commented, My Ivy Rose commented, both basically saying, stop your shit. Nobody's believing you. And one other person, somebody called Jelly Bean. So one person posted in support of you out of 1,300 views. Doesn't happen like that. People around here know that. You bought those views, and that's just how you are. You think that the numbers you think are what makes you popular. You know, I would rather, so much rather, be liked for me than what I would put out there and pretend to be. To me, that would mean nothing. That would mean absolutely nothing to me, to be liked because of something that I was lying about. But then again, I'm a person who lives in reality. Your troll accounts are very obvious, Kat. Everybody knows them. Lord knows Vegas makes hers extremely obvious because she misspells the same words over and over and over again. Instead of spending time with her children, she would rather be trolling me. That's crazy. I can't wrap my head around that. That's really, really crazy. And speaking on Rory again, none of us believe that she didn't know. None of us. The majority of BOYT will never believe that she didn't know. But then again, regardless, she moved a stranger into her home. And if we're to believe you, a stranger that she did not even know his name, that's not wise. That's not wise. And that makes her and Randy no victim. Dee and I know each other from a green room where people just talk. I'm not going to name the people that are in there other than Cameo because it's no secret that I'm friends with Cameo and with Dee. It's just where we talk. I've never had a private conversation with him. I've never had his phone number. But you see how you want to twist things. Instead of taking responsibility for the fact that your best friend had a stranger in her home that you say she didn't even know the name of, you're wanting to turn this all on me and say, hey, this is Lindy's fault because Lindy and him are best friends and they talk and text. And no, that's a lie. I'll pull up my Verizon phone bill and I'll show you proof because that's what I'm about, proof and truth. You aren't. We're 4.5 years into this, you accusing me of things, Kat, and you still. Today is November the 10th, 2019. This started in July 2015. Here we are, November the 10th, 2019, and you've never shown one drop of proof of anything that I've ever done to you other than your lies. You've never shown anything. You can say that I called Larry all you want to. Prove it. You can say that I stalked you. Prove it. All the horrible things that you have said to me for years. You told people it didn't even make any sense, and I ran across it the other day in my evidence file for you because I have one. And you said, you put your mother in a home because you freaked out. I freaked out. What did I freak out about? I didn't want my mother to go to an assisted living. But that was a total God moment in our life because she went to a place that was small for rehab and ended up loving it. Ended up loving it. And I spent every day with her. It ended up being good for her and good for me because I was killing myself taking care of her. You don't know anything about that. Your dad already had dementia and had been living alone, and you were in Arizona trying to play like the rich housewife. And I say play because that's what you were doing. And your dad was up there with dementia and you weren't even taking care of him. I would have never moved away from my mother like that. Never. You were the only child that man had that was actually his. blood related is. I know it's different when it comes to men, but I would have never moved away from my mother like that. We were a team. When Thomas and I met, I knew he and Heather were a team. He knew me and Mother were, and we made a family. We joined our teams and we made a family. And no lie you tell about that is ever going to change that either. You're a disgrace from head to toe. The lies, the stealing, the come on, baby. I'm talking to the woman that's dumb enough to say you have dementia. Everything you want to throw around felon, 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 felon. I own it. I'm not like you. I did not say the minute that you outed me, I said, yeah, that's right. I didn't care. I didn't care. The people that were in my life that needed to know knew. I told Boris that immediately when we started talking. Immediately. Because that's the right thing to do. I'm not ashamed of my past, and that's what you wanted. You wanted me to be ashamed of my past. And all the lies that you told David Guns, that poor man, you lied out your ass to him about me. But he sees you now. He sees the real you now for how you are, as does everyone else. You're not a good person, and you never will be a good person. Excuse me. I had to take a break there. I thought that sailor got stuck in between the door. Lastly, I'm going to touch on R.V. Davey. I don't know the man. I don't know the man at all. But you know what, Kat? Neither do you. Neither do you. And for you to say that he's this good, kind, blah, 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 that makes you an idiot. You're making a judgment on a man you've never even met. Never even met. There's a reason. There's an agenda. Somewhere there's an agenda with what you want to do with this man. I don't know what it is. And quite frankly, I don't care because I'm not going to waste my time looking to see what it might be. But there's an agenda somewhere, just like you have an agenda with everybody that you talk to. Just like you're talking to Truthfully Tricia. You have a little bit of money now and you want to look like you are rich to Truthfully Tricia. The same way that you wanted to look like you were rich to Amanda May and to Elvis and to Nina. And that's exactly what it was, because it was all ego, smoke, and mirrors with you. So in closing, you can make all the threats that you want to. I don't care. I've broken no laws and I will continue exposing you because I'm going to make sure that nobody else is ever treated the way that I have been by you, by the people that have emailed me, by the people that emailed me, multiple people, excuse me, that emailed me this time last year that was sending you money on PayPal that you never even took the time to thank. Somebody sends you money when you say you're in need and you did not even take the time to thank them. I will continue exposing you until I'm ready to stop. Unlike you, I don't have to worry about getting a job or selling things online or anything like that. Your little disability check's only going to go so far. And you are on disability. We all know you are. Your attorney said it, your best friend said it, and your ex-husband said it. You're on disability. And you've been on disability a long time. There was no 5 years living in Israel with some top secret job. I'll always laugh at my friend Yuri. You talked about having all these Mercedes and everything. And when we found out you couldn't drive, Yuri said, well, I guess those Mercedes are over there with her fake job in Israel. And that's the truth. You are a pathological liar. And the majority of the people here know that. And you don't care who you hurt to try to do your evil business. There is no queen of BOYT. That was something that people started calling me on their own. You could have really hurt Holly in what you did, but you didn't think about that. All you could think about was the fact that you thought that it was going to upset me, and it didn't. I didn't give myself Queen of BOYT title in the first place. Everybody else did. If you look at my comments, people still say, I don't care who wins this, you're still the Queen of BOYT. You're still going to be called our queen. People have seen your true colors. I don't care how many apologies you issue. And you're not going to turn Jack Sparrow and I away from each other. Somebody told me that you said something about that you called his wife the R word because of something that I had sent you. I've never sent you anything about Jack. Not a damn thing. And certainly not about his precious Lisa. You're not going to turn he and I against each other because we see you for what you are. I don't care how many charges Jack has. Everybody has a past. None of us that have actually been charged have the criminal thumbprint that you do. None of us. I was in a bad situation because of my ex-husband. I had just been raped, and I did what I felt was right, just to take a plea and get probation and be done with it. And like I said the other day, it's never one time affected my life at all. At all. And all that's done and over with and in my past now. Jack is a good person. Something you don't know anything about. He was a good friend to you, just like I was. And you turned on all of us, just like Guns was. There's not a buffoon. How dare you? There's not a ignorant thing about Guns. He's a very intelligent man. Who cares if he wants to keep his girlfriend off the internet and out of BOYT? Can you blame him with people like you? My God, what you did and said about Lisa is enough to prove that. That's the real you. The real you. And trust, we have it downloaded, many of us do, so that we can refer people to the real you. Just like all the crying and carrying on that you did, we've got that downloaded too. You're garbage. Pure garbage. You were a crappy wife, a crappy daughter, a crappy friend, and a crappy person. An absolutely crappy person. You will never, ever, ever do anything to harm me. Not ever. No lie you tell. No story you've done. No past you've revealed has done anything but make people love me more, because it shows your character or lack thereof, because you have none. Black-hearted people don't have character. You don't trigger me. You don't upset me. My God, if you triggered me, I was told that you did a hangout about me early last week. Why wouldn't I have said something then? I have a life away from the internet. I don't lay in the bed eating bonbons and ordering things that I can't afford like you do. That's you. That's what you do. I have a very, very good life, and I'm in a very good place. 2018 tried to kill me, and you had a big hand in that. You wouldn't have cared if I had blown my brains out. You wouldn't have cared one bit if I had blown my brains out with all the trolling and everything that you did to me. That's why I'm determined you will never do that to somebody else. So you can take your 43 troll accounts and your bot views and your bot subs. Nobody believes you have 30,000 subs. Girl, I doubt you have 3,000. Look, I may only have 2,000 something, but they're real. They're mine and they're real people. And they're not people that watch me for a shit show. They're not people that watch me because they're scared of me. They're real, loving, kind people that I talk to on a daily basis, that I text with on a daily basis. They're real friends and real people. And the majority of them came to me of their own free will after watching you. One of the greatest gifts you could have ever given to me is my best friend Tammy. Tammy's like a sister to me. Tammy came to me because she saw your actions toward me. And because of that, I have a wonderful best friend and sister. So thank you. The more you hate on me, the more God shines his light on me. So keep on, Kat. Keep on. I'm certainly going to keep on. And there's nothing you can do that's going to change that.